but we're all good now.
Yeah, we're good. I'm not nervous. You're not nervous?
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready to go.
Well, we're rolling, so.
Oh shit. Okay.
So what's been going on, man?
Not too much. Finishing up school. Kind of sat back on the creative side, but slowly working on some stuff on stage, just figuring how I want to be as a DJ, taking care of some stuff mentally, and got some stuff coming up soon, which I'm really, really excited about. So yeah.
Well, I'm excited to get into that. I'm kind of excited because this is my first podcast I've done in like 3 or 4 weeks. I've taken some time off. It's been kind of nice.
Yeah. Oh, it's always nice to just take a quick break, a breather from, all of that stuff. But yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. As long as you get back into it though, right?
Oh, you have to. At a certain point, it starts calling your name and you're like, I need to get back.
Yeah.
I need to get back.
I've been slacking.
Oh, sometimes it does. To me, sometimes it feels like if I'm not doing music for a while, I kind of just sit there and be like, what am I doing? I have to be doing something.
What's my purpose?
Yeah, what am I doing here? Like I'm supposed to be doing something right now, and I got to get back into my music. I got to start doing designing and stuff. So
Right.
Yeah.
So the last time you were on, I know you were. We talked about, I think you possibly doing a show. We can't remember if it was before or after, but how did that go?
That was crazy to me. It was 24 hours before that was like the worst. Some of the worst day I've ever had. I was panicking. I was so worried.
We did talk about that.
We did, right? Yeah.
We did
so
talk about that.
I ended up going on stage and panicking all the way through until I played that, first song, and it just turned out to be the best 2 hours of my life right there. Just boom, boom, and it was amazing. So yeah.
So have you done any other shows since then?
So after that, I got asked to DJ outside of LS. Do you know where that is in East Lansing on campus?
LS Taco?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, yeah. So in that main area, I got asked to DJ outside there. So I went and did that. And then for some reason, I thought I'd be okay. I was like, all right, I had the show, and I'm like, all right, I'm back on my feet. And I went out there and I started performing, and I was just like, holy shit, I'm starting to get nervous. I'm starting to panic on there. And I was just like, the sun's out. I'm fine. I'm not overheating or anything like that. This is I got friends and family out here, but it's not like a big crowd. It's just a summer day. There's, no college kids right now. And I'm like, I'm not feeling good at all. And my mind starts to just chirp at me. And it's just barking and screaming at me. And I'm like, oh my God. And I remember I had KT there, who was like my mentor, my big brother. He came out, came up on stage, and he was just like, because I went like this, I was like pointing at him like, dude, get up here right now. And he was just like, what's wrong? And I was like, I don't know. I feel like I'm going to throw up. I don't feel good. I'm panicking. And I went through it, and I ended up being fine, but that scared me. That really, really scared me. And I was just like, oh my God, I don't feel good at all. I don't feel good at all. I don't want to. At one point, I was just like, I'm so afraid to do music again, because I feared that fear of it happening again. And then I purposely booked to do LS again, but it was during welcome week, so all the college kids would be there. And you're gonna go to the bars, everyone's gonna be outside walking and stuff.
Right.
So I remember being just, for some reason, I don't know, I think that was after we talked, and it wasn't because of you. I promise it wasn't because of you, but I had just the worst anxiety I've ever had, without a doubt. I know it was really bad because it was at a point where I'd feel it down my neck, and it was like physical anxiety, and I was just like, what the fuck? Like, it sucked. It really sucked. And it was all because I was afraid to perform, and I was afraid of feeling that fear again. And I was like, it was rough. It was really rough. So I booked LS again during welcome week. And I remember just being so scared the night before. I didn't sleep well, and my anxiety got so bad it would wake me up from my sleep. And I was just like, I love my sleep. Like, come on, give me something here. And I was super afraid, but I had KT there with me. I had, again, my friends and family there, and I get on stage and I start DJing, and the circuits of the stage just stop mid DJing, like first 10 minutes in, and I'm like, okay, all right. fuck, I'm scared. Like, I don't know what I'm doing here. So I'm like trying to like figure it out. And like KT's on stage, and then I like called somebody who was working, who hired me to do it, and he came by, and every 10 to 15 minutes it kept cutting out. It kept cutting out, and I was just like, is it because I'm taking too much power? I don't know. Like, I know I'm Indian, I'm supposed to be good at tech support, but like I couldn't figure it out. I couldn't figure it out, and I was just like, I don't know if it's my board. I'm not good on like the technology part of my board. I'm only good on like the music side of it. And then,
is that something you've had to kind of teach yourself?
I'd say majority of my music with my DJing was teaching and just kind of going through it and like trial and error, like feeling it out. I remember starting off with my friend Kareem. That's how we started. I started DJing was with him, and then I owe almost all my credit to now Mr. Page, who is my DJ mentor. Rodney Lamar Page is just levels ahead of me, and he's levels ahead of the game, and he's just a phenomenal person. So he helped me a lot with that. So, but yeah, with I didn't know like the wiring and stuff like that. I mean,
right.
I couldn't figure it out, and then I unplugged one of the speakers and just went on one speaker. So then I continued on the night. Oh my goodness, and I just see like a crowd start to form, and then I look to my left, and it's just hundreds of college kids just walking by and like stuff like that. I'm like, okay. Oh my God. And I start to like feel nervous and anxious, but I'm like, no, I've been here before. Like, we can do this, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And then I start to really get anxious. And then I look, and I know it's okay. I can mention this. I won't say her name, but I look, and this old girl I used to talk to, it just appears with my close friend, our mutual friend. And she just appears. And I was just like, I was like, oh my goodness, you have to be kidding me. So there's two options right now.
Drop it down.
Yeah, it's either
lay the hammer down.
I panic and I completely fold because there's so many people and my ex is here and all of that, or I just full on just
show her who you really are.
Yeah.
That light.
No, it's all good. But yeah, and I went in, and I don't know what it is. When my back was against the wall, I was just like, shoot, like let's just go do this, and I did it. And I had a great time, and at that moment, after I like came back to my apartment, I like sat and realized, and I think it was actually my brother that told me this, or someone who was there with me told me, he goes, that was your biggest performance number wise, and you didn't even realize it. Because I was so focused, but it was like literally hundreds and hundreds, and then it turned into like 1,000 at least.
Wow.
At least. Not in front of me per se, but just walking by and hearing me play. And that was basically, it was my hardest time as a DJ to get to that point. Priorhand, I was really struggling, and it was really hard, and then boom, I just did like my biggest thing.
That is insane. I've seen some of your Instagram posts, like when you're DJing. I'm like, dang, that looks like a party. It looks pretty intense.
Yeah, it is, and I think it's one of those things. Is like the reason why I DJ is like I'm in control of your emotions. So like when I'm watching, like when I start DJing, like one of the things that me and my doctor are working on is just like, instead of me focusing on like me as the DJ, like start watching your audience and like crowd and how they react. And I like start to play my music, and I see a group of guys just going crazy singing their song, or like a few girls feeling like they're in their element, and I'm like, boom, right there, they're not worried about anything. They're singing the song, they're having the best time of their life, and I'm in control of that. Like I like start to take for granted, like I don't want to take for granted what I'm doing there. You know? I mean, it's a blessing. I mean, no offense, but like I could easily make money doing, a 9-to-5 or working fast food. I mean, if that's what you want to do and that's what you have to do, then by all means do it. But I shouldn't, I try to teach myself, like I shouldn't feel worried about DJing. I mean, I'm getting paid to do music. I don't really care about even getting paid. I'm like doing music for fun. Like this is amazing.
Yeah, so. You definitely shouldn't be worried about what other people think.
Oh.
This episode is brought to you by Red Bike Delivery. This delivery service operates only using battery-powered, eco-friendly transportation. Red Bike Delivery is there for all your delivery needs, whether it's dinner for the family, flowers for your partner, or new houseplants for your new collection. Red Bike Delivery will gladly deliver those and everything in between. So what are you waiting for? Check out Red Bike Delivery on Facebook or Instagram for more information. Red Bike Delivery, because there's only one Earth. I mean, you're doing exactly what you love to do.
For sure. And I think that's definitely something that took me a while to overcome was I shouldn't worry or care about what other people think. As a DJ, I think that's one of the hardest things to do is like you can't please everyone.
Yeah.
There's no way you can really please everyone unless it's just like 3 people in a room and y'all have the same music taste.
And like I was going to say that, like some people may not like the song you're playing, but other people will probably love it.
Yeah. I mean, that's something I kind of had to deal with. I remember my first homecoming I was DJing and I think I did a great, I think I personally did a great job, but I know that the feedback was great. And I remember I was thinking I was doing so good. And then they asked for the last song and I played a song. And I remember like a group, I'm not going to say who it was or anything like that, but they were just like, this is bullshit. This is awful. Like, why would you play this as your last song? And then walked away.
Wow.
And I let that ruin my whole night because I kept thinking about it. Now It doesn't bother me.
Right.
It doesn't bother me anymore, but it taught me like you can't please everyone. That's if I'm trying to seek that, it's gonna be a problem. I can aim for it, but it's not gonna happen.
Do you think it's good that maybe that happened though? Like maybe like there's those people that don't like what you're doing, they don't like the song you played, and they verbalize that. And yeah, it might have like hindered you in that moment, but do you think it ultimately made you better?
Absolutely. I'm going to have to experience that at some point. And I'm really glad you brought that up because that's the same thing that happened when I did that show outside when there was thousands of people. Is the equipment failed. I've never had that happen to me.
That's the most frustrating thing.
It's terrifying and it sucks and it's something I feared. And that was one of the things that was just barking in my head. It's like, what if your equipment fails? What if your equipment fails? Now as a DJ, now that I go on forward, like that could happen.
Mm-hmm.
Now I know how that feels.
Right.
It's not that terrifying and it's not really, speaking of equipment, it's something that it's not as bad anymore to me. Like something I don't fear because I've been through that. And I've, now also I've performed when I panic. I know what that feels.
Yeah.
Because before I came here, I was just like, I've never really panicked. I panic a little bit beforehand and then I go on stage and I'm boom, like I'm fine.
Yeah.
Now I've panicked on stage under pressure. Now I know what that's like. So
I think as long as you know how to channel that, right? You know how to like move on from that and not stay in that spot.
Yeah, that
because it's easy to like just sit there and panic and be like, oh geez, I don't know what to do, and then run off stage.
Yeah, there's a few times I was just
what
like,
the heck is going on?
there's a few times I wanted to do that. Like that first time at LA's, like I've never had to like call KT and like I was playing my song. I wasn't like doing stuff on my board, but I was playing my song and I was like kind of like 2 steps back and talking to KT like. I'm so close to just like passing out. Like I'm so afraid right now. But for some reason I just didn't walk off, thankfully, or like, just be like, hey, I'm done here. I'm done. I can't. Cause that scares me, and that's
right.
where I kind of use my fear as like in a good way. Like the fear of like just running off stage or like the fear of like saying, hey, I gotta stop. So I use that to be like, no, like I'm more terrified of that than panicking on stage. I'd much rather panic on stage than just run off and, let my fear win.
Well, there's something to be said for not giving up too, right? Like even though you were panicking, like, and you decided not to give into that, there's something to be said about that.
I think, no, I appreciate you saying that because I've now come to the point, I DJ now at this house, which is, I love the boys there. They treat me like family and they are like my family. I DJ at house parties there. And I have this ritual now I say before I perform. I'll always step outside right before I perform. Like there's tons of people and I'll like bob and weave my way through just to step outside and I'll look up at the sky and I'll say, no matter what emotion arises, I will chase my dream. I'm willing to die for this. So now I know that like I need to keep going no matter if I feel fear, if I feel anxious, if I feel sad, mad, frustrated, worried, if a bunch of people start booing me, it doesn't matter what I feel. I need to keep going. I need to chase my dream. And if I'm not chasing my dream, then I'm not living. Therefore, I feel like I'm dying, if that makes sense.
Right.
Not literally dying, but.
Absolutely. And I mean, again, that goes back to channeling and like using that as motivation, as fuel to to progress and just make yourself better.
Oh yeah, 100%. I found a new approach to my.
Do you mind? I'm sorry. Do you mind turning that light switch all the way up? Yeah, there's like a slide next to it. Yeah, that might be the reason. Thank you.
Appreciate it. But yeah, I think it's one of those things is motivation and being the aggressor towards my anxiety is what's been the most beneficial. Rather than, fearing anxiety, it's all fear, it's all worry, it's fear, and you want to like crumble up and hide, and you want to get rid of that feeling. Now I'm trying to find that motivation to like feel that and not want to run away. Instead, like 1v1 it. Like, let's go. Check up. I'm ready to go. Like, I'll deal with you right now. I don't have to fear you. I don't want you to take over, I'm gonna deal with you right now. So
I have a question. How did that girl react? Did she ever contact you?
Yeah, I actually went and talked to her afterward. I went afterward and talked to her. She's a fantastic person. We just talked afterward, and then we're cool now. So it's over. It's whatever. But it was a happy ending.
So the performance that night, you were pretty satisfied with.
Yeah, I was, because there was a certain moment where I had Akash come on stage with me. I played one of his songs that he didn't release at the time. And then I had my friend Matthew come up with me, and he was in crutches. So he kind of gave me one of his crutches, and we were both like swinging them up in the air like that. And then we just had a good time. I mean, it was really more along the lines of just, I felt like this is why I perform. There was no fear at the end of the night. And as soon as I stopped playing, and then it all like came back, and I was just like, okay, I did what I need to do, so now I don't really care what happens. Now you can scream and yell in my ear all you want. I'm fine. I'm done. I did it. I'm done performing. I accomplished. You lost. I won. Fuck you. Like, I'm good now. So that's how it went down.
That's awesome, man. So what else have you been up to? I know you just said that you have a clothing line that's coming back out. What is that like?
So Sunset Volume 3 I have coming out.
Volume 3,
the third one. I wasn't going to do a third one. But then I met a lot of just new people in college, which I'll never take for granted. And they're all like, hey, like, do you have more clothing? And I'm just like, I sold out. And they're like, oh, like, let me know when you do the next one. I'm like, oh, I mean, oh, okay, yeah. Maybe I do want to do another one. Maybe I don't. I don't know. But here I am. I don't have a specific date, but I just had a gala for the clothing line, because everyone's on spring break right now, and I want to do something nice because everyone who's been there and supported me is the only reason I'm here. If I didn't have people support my clothing line or like support me as a DJ, I mean, like, I'd just be a student.
Yeah.
I would just be a student.
My gosh, so, I'm really sorry about that.
Oh, no worries at all. It's all good.
Yeah, that's one thing that, I mean, you could probably take anywhere, right? A clothing line, like, you can sell it online. You can sell it to just the people you go to school with. Do you have any goals for that? Like, what's your purpose for the clothing line?
I mean, what I do is I try to do like limited edition. I don't want to just stick my name on a shirt and just be like, get it. I want you to be like, I would get this even if it wasn't his. I know, and I understand some people will just get it to be like, hey, we just want to support you. And I appreciate that. Some people will just be like, hey, I can't afford it right now, but I support you. Same thing. Love it. I appreciate it. So for me, I'm going to do it for 2 weeks online for like, pre-orders, and then have it come out. And I'll have a bulk order that I'll probably only sell at shows. So next time I have my next shows, I can have some like merch there. So
cool.
So that's the plan, yeah.
Now, do you record anything? Like music wise?
Oh,
I know you DJ, but do you like make music?
So I've recorded about 6 mixes I have, and that's all I've recorded. My brother, he makes music, he produces, but I kind of just do the mixing and the live performances and stuff like that. So I have some stuff that I've like recorded, and it's on SoundCloud, and it's been doing actually pretty good. I think I have one that's almost, or actually I think it just passed 20,000 views. Wow. So I know, and it's so funny as I'm like, oh, like I totally realized that none of my friends listen to my music. None of them do. And I'm looking at where they are, and it's like Australia, like Sydney. And I'm like, oh, I love Australia. Never been there.
Yeah. I've never been there, and I don't think I want to go anytime soon. But, you know, it's a neat place. Do you mind if we play it at the end of this podcast?
Yeah, I'm sure we can put something up or something like that. Yeah,
that'd be cool.
Yeah.
So you said that you went through a bunch of like mental health things this year. What kind of things have you gone through?
Yeah, it was more along the lines of like a whole new like aggressive type of like anxiety. It just started like all of a sudden like I'd feel like this like tingle down my neck, and I'm like, oh shit, this is just about to go down. And it got to a point where it was hard for me to fall asleep, and I have like no shame in admitting this. There was one point where like my friends were in like the living room, and I was just in my room, and I was just like bawling. I just started bawling. I was just like, I don't know why. I just started like bawling. I was like, I just hate this. This sucks, and I hate it. And I don't want to DJ because I'm afraid of going on stage, and I wanted to seek only emotional comfort. And at that point, I realized if I want to get to where I want to go, then I can't seek emotional comfort. That's not an option. I have to realize that I'm not going to be able to be, you know, stress-free all the time, or there's going to be no anxiety, you know, but I need to find a way to have those things like come at me, but not bother me.
Have you found a way for that to happen?
Yes, I've had a point where it's like I try to do my best of got it. I mean, works. I've gotten a point where I try to talk myself through it rather than, you know, sit there and just let it ramble at me. I start talking back at it, and I kind of like, okay, now hold on, wait a second. I have performed and done this before. I've performed sick. I've performed anxious. I've performed worrying. I've performed with my stomach hurting. I've performed in front of 10 people. I've performed in front of I've done so many different things that I know I'm capable of doing these things now. I've performed multiple times now.
Mm-hmm.
So when it starts, you know, when it starts to get anxious at me, now I'm starting to realize like I'm expecting it. It's going to be a while until I like finally get over this, but I'm expecting it. And when it comes, I'm like, okay, this isn't something new. I'm used to it. It's like if you punch me in the arm the first time, ouch, that would actually really hurt. I'd probably start crying. And then if you punch me again the second and third time, then it's just like, okay, that's hurt. And then you keep punching me, and after a certain amount of time, I'm like, okay, I'm used to this.
You think you'll be able to withstand it?
Probably not.
I kept doing it?
Yeah, honestly, you seem like you work out. I don't know. You just don't hit me, man. But yeah, at some point, it's going to be like, okay.
You get used to it.
I'm going to get used to it.
It's a factor of life.
Exactly.
So has there been any like exercise type things that you, not exercise like physically, but like anything like maybe mentally or like thought process wise that you've like certain things that you've done that help you specifically for when you become anxious or have like panic attack type things?
Oh, for sure. Number one, I'll do the ritual thing that I say. Okay, that I'll do. Deep breathing definitely helps a lot. Like taking some deep breaths. Before performances, what I do is I actually listen to like motivational videos, like those 5-minute like motivational, like I think it's like ET's like talking. Eric Thompson, he's just like talking. He's like, you gotta do it, boo. You gotta do it. And I'm sitting there like, yeah, I gotta do it. Like, you know, I have to do this. And I kind of like all of what that does is changes my angle on the situation. And that to me has been the biggest thing that has helped me overall and all of my anxiety is changing my damn angle on it. You gotta change your angle. When your anxiety is like yelling at you, you're looking at it from its lens. Stop looking at it from its lens. You have to find a way to like look at it differently, you know? You have to change your
perspective.
Exactly. You have to. Like half glass empty, half glass full, whatever that one is. But you have to do that. You have to do that. And that's what's helped me, because like sometimes it's just like, again, it's like I go on, I'm like, oh my God, like there's going to be a bunch of new people at this one. Oh my God, like what if your equipment's not working? What if like one of the boys gets super drunk and starts like throwing alcohol around?
Oh,
like,
geez.
your equipment fails, something, blah, 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 blah. And then I shift my angle and I'm like, okay, I've done this before. I've DJ'd this house before. I've DJ'd in front of new people before. I've done all these things. And then I'm like, okay, this is fine. I'm fine. And then as soon as I get on there and I remember the reason why I'm doing this and why I love it, then there's nothing that can stop me.
Yeah, I think it's easy to get caught up in the moment and like start freaking out because like even with this podcast, I've had so many episodes that didn't record properly. I mean, even in this episode, the lights were going crazy until I took that one down. And like things like that can cause distraction, right? Mm-hmm. Instead of focusing on like what it's all about. And so like, if I let like the podcast that didn't record define the podcast and me, then
right.
it would keep me from moving on and wanting to continue doing the podcast.
Right.
Like, for instance, I fucked up a big one. I interviewed the mayor of Lansing, and it was supposed to be a big podcast.
Right.
It recorded the video, but didn't record audio. And I'm like, oh man, I had 3 episodes back to back to back that didn't record. And that was a huge learning lesson for me. From that moment, I was like, okay, I need to start doing sound checks before each episode. I need to make sure all my equipment's working properly. And yeah, my equipment may fail on me, but at least now I know that what I need to do in order to prevent that from happening. So as long as you you said you're afraid of your equipment failing on you.
Yeah.
Like as long as you know to the best of your ability that you tried and you did whatever you could do prior to to your show, then what you can't stop it from there. I mean, whatever happens.
Right. I try to only control what I can.
Yeah.
If it like somebody else's equipment like messes with mine or something, like again, like that power outage, I don't know the city of East Lansing's shortage hours and all that stuff, but like, I can control at least, my equipment and stuff like that, at least best of my knowledge. So I definitely agree.
Now, how big are your shows? I know that one show you said there was like 1,000 people there. Are they typically that big?
Oh, no. No. I mean, when I do, this is my last school dance I'm going to do is this prom for Okemos. That's the last one I'll do. Then I'm done with school dances. I got to move on from those. But, I mean, it's fun. Trust me, it's super fun, but I got to move on. But, like, that one's, like, 600, 700, 800, around that range. But the show that like I'm about to do, like the concert and stuff, that one's a little bit more smaller, about like 70, 80. The Halloween night was probably the craziest one I've done outside of like an actual like concert or performance, I'd say. Okay. That one was crazy. Michigan played that morning. Michigan State won. That was sweet. And then I remember, walking through the streets, and I was, this is still a similar stage where I was still panicking about performing. And I was thinking, this is the biggest one. It's Halloween, all this. And I get there to the house, and I, started putting up my stuff and whatever. And then it was so cool. Like, my equipment's actually upstairs. I know the house or whatever. And I'm in the middle floor. That's where I'm performing. And I grab my, I'm about to go grab my equipment from upstairs. So I'm like, hey, Chase, Tate, can you, escort me through? And I've never felt like a fucking princess in my life till that moment. It was so cool because they were like, hey, everyone move out of the way. Like, Cheeku's walking through. And all these, gorgeous women are like, oh, my God, who's Cheeku? And I'm just like, that's me. That's me.
That's a pretty sexy name.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Cheeku.
Yeah, thank you, right?
Who's Cheeku?
So I go upstairs and I grab my equipment and then I walk down the stairs and there's a fight. And I'm like, where's Cheeku? Where's Cheeku at? And there's a fight going on and I have my board in my hand and I'm like, first of all, I can't fight. I'm not gonna fight. And I hid behind 2 girls and in the back and I'm like, hey, my equipment, I gotta take care of them. And they were like, no, you're fine. And Chase and Tate had to throw this guy out. He was way too drunk. And then they escort me up there and I'm like, this house is so packed. It's so packed. And I plug in my equipment And this is the moment where I re-fell in love with music. As soon as I plugged it in and I like scratched my like board, everyone started chanting Cheeku. And I was like, oh my goodness. Like the adrenaline took over the anxiety like that. Like just like that. And I was just like, oh my goodness. And they're just chanting like Cheeku, Cheeku. And I'm like, wow. Like this is what I want to do. This is what I want to do. And I played my first song and watching everyone jump and just go crazy. Like no one is panicking in that room. No one's anxiety is harming them right now.
Because they're all drunk.
Well, that was probably it played a part, but like no, everyone was singing the songs, going crazy, going hype. It's a Halloween weekend. Like Michigan State just won, and I look out, or like somebody comes up to me while I'm performing, and goes, "Dude, there's a line of like 100 people trying to get in this house," and I'm like, "That's crazy."
Wow.
And I'm like DJing, and then I'm not gonna say the name of the person, but like this MSU basketball player like walks in, like daps me up. I'm like, what's up? And then like started playing again, and I was just like, the night was just amazing, and I like kept going, and it was every song, I had like people come up and like saying like, oh dude, you're doing great, blah blah blah, and like I try not, I prefer not to be bothered when I'm DJing, but it felt really nice to just be like, after all that panicking and worrying and all of that, it always works out. It always works out. And I think one of the most important things is you can't get rid of the fear before doing the thing. You have to do the thing to get rid of the fear. That's the only way.
That's so crippling, right? To just let that anxiety, let that fear define that whole situation. Like it's so easy to just be like, okay, I'm done. I can't do this. I'm not gonna do it.
Right.
Not gonna go up there.
It's so scary.
You also got to remember too that like especially in a situation like that, they're all probably drunk, so they're not gonna care.
That was is what's really nice about the house is at 5:30 we call it 5:30. It's 5:30 Division Street, but shout out 5:30. And like first of all, the guys there are just so damn nice, and they said like, Cheeku, look, if anything happens, we have another speaker and we'll just play music. You play as long as you want, you do whatever you want, we'll take care of the rest. Do you want any water? Do you want anything to drink? Like let us know. Do you need a fan? And they're just some of the nicest guys I've met. And I'm like, if I'm gonna get back into DJing through whatever I'm going through, that was the best place to do it, and that was the best people to be around. And that I think was something I took for granted till actually talking about it this moment, was like, I could have easily been panicking, whatever, and been like, okay, hey, you're going on tour now. And I would have been like, I don't know anyone. This is scary, high pressure. No, this was the least amount of pressure. And if anything happened, like, I'll be okay. I'll be taken care of. Yeah. And I mean, here I am now. I've DJed that house a few times now, and I'm about to have my second show, which I am worried about. I trust me, I am worried about, but
where's that going to be?
That's going to be at the Fledge, which is a phenomenal place. They do really good stuff for the community. Yeah. And I'm excited to try it out. It's my first time doing it there, even being in there. So
you've never been there?
I went in there to sound check, and I met the owner, who's
Jerry.
Such a nice guy.
Yeah, Jerry's cool.
Yeah, such a nice guy. I really like him.
Have you ever done his podcast?
No.
Yeah, you should get on there.
I feel like I should.
It's called Every Damn Day. Mm-hmm. Do you know what it is?
No, I haven't.
No, he just interviews people from the community. I mean, kind of like this. Yeah. But he does it at the Fledge, and he just talks to cool, interesting people.
All right, I'll have to get into that.
Yeah, just reach out to him.
Will do. Yeah. Trust me, I will. I gotta get the show done first. But I'm super excited, and the sweetest thing is they've got this painting in the back.
Yeah.
That sunset painting. Yeah. That they can't get out of there, and I'm like, that works perfectly for me because I love sunsets. That's how I do all my music, is through sunsets. So I'm excited.
So you're going to do it behind that painting or in front of that painting? Rather?
Yeah. They have like that double layer.
Yeah.
Mr. Page I call him Mr. Page, but Rodney Lamar Page. I can't call him anything else because he's like my elder. I'm like, Mr. Page, like, I grew up knowing him as that. But yeah, Mr. Page is going to DJ on that first level, and then that second level will be me. I'll come on off the side, and I have visions in my head of how I want to do this, and I'll celebrate my birthday there too, so cool. I'll have my first.
So you're doing the show on your birthday?
My birthday's the 17th, which is St. Patrick's Day, and then the 18th is the show. So
So you're gonna get lit for?
No, I can't. I know all of my friends are just like, they're probably like, dude, shut up. You're gonna have to. And I'm like, I really don't want to, because March Madness is my favorite time of the year. And it starts then. So I mean, I'll probably just, have my first drink.
How old are you?
I'm 20.
Oh, you're not even 21 yet.
Yeah, I know. I'll have my first drink then.
So you will be 21.
I will be 21.
Bro, you got to drink.
I know. But
no pressure.
Yeah. Trust me. I've gotten so much pressure from all my friends about that. But I gotta wake up the next day, sound check and all of that. I mean, that's, if I had one thing I'd want to do on my birthday, it's literally DJ. That's it. I mean, or like, that's actually really it. All I'd want to do is DJ. And the next day I get to DJ. The dream day is wake up, watch March Madness, sound check, and then go perform. Like,
awesome. That sounds like a beautiful day.
That sounds like a gorgeous day. It sounds amazing to me. So yeah,
that's awesome. Now I do want to mention your TikTok makes me laugh.
Oh,
when you do your Indian accent. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
The way you're able to just turn that on and off, I laugh my ass off every time. Like, how is he able to do that?
It's funny, like when I explain people who aren't Indian, my parents, I always give them like an Indian accent. I always do that because they can't tell the difference. I mean, and my mom and dad are very fluent in English, and they have, they have pretty English accents, Okay. But I always make them sound Indian and stuff like that. I think the thing about my TikTok was like, I wanted to do it about music, but at the same time, I kind of want it to be like funny, but at the same time, like I try to do mental health stuff on there. I'm like, hey, like, here's a little piece of advice. If it doesn't, I don't care about who likes it or if it goes viral or not. If it helps one person, I did my job. Yeah. I'm cool with it. And then if I have to throw on an Indian accent, like, I'll do it. If it makes someone laugh, I'll do it. I try not to do it like to offend anyone, none of that, I don't
think it's offensive. I mean, you're Indian.
I'm Indian.
How's that offensive?
That's what I'm hoping, but one thing I'm not a big fan of is cancel culture. I think
preach it. I can't stand cancel culture.
I'm not a big fan of it. I think how are we supposed to like, you can't judge people for making a mistake all the time. Sometimes you can, but like if someone makes a mistake, how are they supposed to feel like, okay, I want to change, if all you're going to do is like beat them up for what they did, mentally, or like cancel them,
It's closing conversation. I mean, because you're telling them that what you said was wrong and now you can't be a part of the conversation.
And I think it's rough is because nothing is more important. I mean, mistakes are honestly good. If I make a mistake and I learn from it and therefore it won't happen, I don't want to be judged about that, because that's the same thing as you being like, you did this in the past.
Right.
And I'm like, how am I supposed to grow? That's the same thing as you robbing my old house. I don't live there anymore. You can't, like, there's nothing there, but you just keep trying to rob my house, like my old one.
Yeah.
It's to me ridiculous. And that's why people make mistakes is, you got to learn from them. And sometimes you might make that same mistake again, but as long as you're learning and you're trying, like, come on.
There's a recent situation that happened with the Lansing Brewing Company. I don't know if you've seen that.
I haven't. No.
But they were going to do this MAGA I guess they were doing like a MAGA event downtown, and then they invited those people to come to their restaurant for like lunch and stuff. And I don't know. I don't know what it's about. Honestly, I don't know what the MAGA thing is about. Trump's not in office anymore, so whatever.
Right.
But what I seen was everybody from the community was like, I seen other business owners too, like say, like now's a good time to boycott this restaurant. And I'm just like, I don't agree with that. Like, I mean, you may not agree with what MAGA is, but again, you're taking that person out of the conversation. You can't do that.
Yeah, like, it's that one. Yeah, that's a tough one, because I mean, I don't mind saying it. I'm not the biggest Trump fan out there.
I don't think a lot of people are.
Yeah, but I'll say this. There are, I think, about 40% of my friends would identify as Republican. All right. I love each and every single one of them. It shouldn't matter. And I think the problem is we're separating into two separate spots now.
Yeah.
And it's either one or the other. And then we have to bring awareness to one thing, and then that means that, like, you can't bring awareness to the other thing, and it's just like bring this up and then this up, and then it keeps like one stack on the other. At some point, I just want everything to be like, look, if you're a good person, you're a good person. I'm friends with you. It's fine. I think we're losing that like bondage.
Yeah, I think we're letting identity politics define who we are as people and the people we surround ourselves with. Because I think a lot of people have more in common than don't. But like, for instance, like you said, 40% of your friends are Republican.
I'd say 40 or 50.
Like, are they really fully Republican, or do they just have like kind of Republican ideas that they agree with?
Oh, some of them are like
legit, like
full on
Trump people.
Yeah, some of them really are, and some of them are completely opposites. And I mean, like, I respect.
Would you consider them like as like white supremacist type people?
No. That would be that would conflict with my personal beliefs, and I'd be like, then we would have a problem. We'd have a little bit of issue.
Because that's my problem too. Is like especially with this whole MAGA thing and like the whole Trump supporter thing. People want to say, oh, just because you like Trump or that you voted for Trump, that you're this white supremacist type person.
Right.
But really, he could just be the guy for that party that you identify most with.
Right.
And so then that comes into the whole cancel culture thing, like, oh, because you support part of those ideas, then we need to cancel you. You can't be a part of the conversation anymore. And that's the problem I have.
Right.
And that's the problem I had with the whole Lansing Brewing Company is, just because they invited those people down to their restaurant for lunch, which to me, I guess as a business owner, like you're trying to make money.
Right.
It might not be the wisest thing depending on what they're trying to rally for or whatever, but to cancel them, I think is I don't know.
It's a little rough because I mean,
and it just was kind of disconcerting for me to see like other business owners here, local business owners, to be like, yeah, you shouldn't be a part of them. Like you shouldn't go there. You shouldn't support them. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that one's a tough one. Again, it all stems from like I'm not a fan of cancel culture because I've made mistakes. I mean, we talked about this. I have made many mistakes in my past, and for someone to say, yo, fuck Cheeku for the shit he did in high school, or what he did in the past.
I say fuck Cheeku.
Yeah, I mean that's fine. Go for it. I mean, but like it's one of those things. It's just like, how am I supposed to truly change when I have to always constantly worry about looking like behind me to see if someone's gonna bring up my past?
Yeah.
Like, then why am I gonna change if no matter what somebody's gonna bring up my past? Then there's no point. And I mean, to me, I try to be a good person, and sometimes that just doesn't happen. Sometimes I fuck up, sometimes I do.
Well, and the thing is too, is like so many people change. Like, I mean, 10 years ago when I was your age, almost 10 years ago, that's so crazy to say. I feel like an old person.
No, you're still young. Don't worry about it. You're still young. You're good.
But if like if you talked to me 10 years ago, you'd be like, wow, that guy's an arrogant asshole. Like, I mean, I don't think I was like super arrogant, but like I had like ideas of what I thought like things were, like, but now my ideas and my like political ideas, all that's kind of, it's actually made like a 180.
Yeah.
Like there's certain things I believe are, like I'm not, like, for instance, I don't really consider myself like right wing or left wing or like Republican or Democrat.
Right.
I'm just kind of middle of the road.
Right.
Like today I went shooting guns. Like I have guns. I love guns.
Right.
So I guess that would be Second Amendment. That'd be like right wing.
Right.
But like if somebody wants an abortion, I don't really care. It's not my thing. I don't care. It doesn't affect me. Like, so, I'm just kind of in the middle of the road. But 10 years ago, if you had asked me about that, based on the way I grew up, I probably would have answered differently.
Right.
And I think, people change, and to kind of just cancel somebody because they don't agree with you in that moment,
right,
is completely wrong.
I mean, again, it's. I mean, I would never have painted my nails in high school. I'm gonna say that right now. I never would have. I wouldn't.
Do you think you would have gotten beat up for that in high school?
No. I don't think I would have.
The reason why I ask is because, like, when I was in school, like, if a man did that, or if a male did that, then you would be like gay, or you would be like whatever.
They'd say something about. I mean, if I went to, I don't know, if I walked into, I remember when I was with my mom and I was really young, and we went to India together, and like I was like, Mom, you want to try painting? And she was like, what do you? And I was like, we were at this like marketplace, whatever, and like she like painted like 2 of my nails, and I remember like these 4 old Indian guys just staring at me with like disgust, and I was just like, oh my God, this is wrong. This is so wrong. This is wrong. And I was taking what their opinion was and letting it be like, oh, this is wrong. Then this has to be wrong. They think it's wrong. It's got to be wrong.
Yeah.
And I mean, now, I mean, like I paint my nails. I wear rings. Like I don't care.
It seems like it fits you.
I think it's something that it's like me now. You know, this is me now. And like, I mean, again, if
I didn't look at you like wow, that guy showed up with painted fingernails.
Right. Like, you know, and who am I to judge somebody else? You know, like that's the same thing with like, I identify as straight, but if somebody else wants to be gay, bi, trans, like who am I to judge you? It's your life. Go live it. Why do you have to hear my beliefs? You know, go do whatever you want, you know?
Yeah.
So, I mean, the same thing with you said, like 10 years ago, like, you know, you had that point of view. And I mean, for me, what I try to do is, to me, Cheeku is not like Cheeku. It's more along the lines of just so many different people who have influenced me, and I take bits and pieces of what I think is, you know, the best qualities and stuff like that. So I mean, again, like in high school, would I have painted my nails? No, but now I'd love to paint my nails. I'll paint my nails before I go on stage, or I do something creative or something like that. So I mean, I'm sure my opinions are gonna change going on to the future, and I think with everything going on in the world, I mean, it's rough, but I think especially with the TikTok thing is like I try to like bring a little bit more positivity. You know, all you see on social media is just so negative.
Yeah.
Sometimes I like Instagram. I used to love Snapchat. I barely use Snapchat now, but I used to love Instagram. And now sometimes I don't want to open it up because if I go through stories, you look at it and it's so sad.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is so sad now. Everything is about, you know, what's going on in the world, sad, you know, like, I mean, the stuff that's happening in Europe, you know, and you're seeing stuff about like cancel culture. And the biggest problem is everyone starts to believe what they read. That's a problem. I try not to do that because it's the same thing as if you were to tell me Johnny, right, is somebody's like, Johnny's such an asshole, screw that guy. And then I meet Johnny and I judge him based off of what you said. Right. And maybe Johnny's just actually a really nice guy and you met him at just the wrong time, you know?
That's one thing I've learned over the years, especially like working at GM. People will all the time walk the line and they'll be like, "Oh, that person's an asshole. Like he said this." Like it's like high school in there. It's crazy, but you got to form your own opinions and your own ideas about people based off of your experience with them. Because like it's so easy to be like, "Wow, okay, I'll take that into consideration. That person is an asshole," and then you work next to him the next day and you're like, "This guy's not an asshole. He seems fine. Like he might have just had a bad day."
Right. 100%. And that's another reason why I don't like. I never got a fake ID. I can say that. I never got a fake ID.
Wink.
No. I seriously actually I never got one. And I think when you go to the bars in college and stuff, and I like hear stories about it. Like I go to Michigan State. You know, it's a party school.
Yeah.
And I've walked past people, and these are these dudes that wear like. They're frat kids. They're in frats and stuff, and I like walk past them, and they just look at me like they're judging me, and I'm like, dude, what? Like you think you're entitled to the world, and you're judging me before even knowing me. Yeah, I think that's such a problem.
And they're in a frat. Who are they to be judging anybody?
I mean, come on, you're paying for your friends. No, I'm just playing. I do have a friend who's in a frat, and he's one of the nicest guys I know, for sure. So I mean, it's not all frat guys and stuff like that. I can't categorize, you know, one person based off that, but. Yeah, I mean, I just think
that would be judging. Yeah, fucking asshole.
But I think again, what's most important is just like I think we need to, just me as at least this is my opinion on what I got to do. I got to do this. You know, I'm gonna hold myself accountable. I got to do this. I got to stop judging people, you know, based off of other people's opinions. I got to stop, you know, thinking, you know, that I need to impress everyone. And then the third thing I need to do is just start being more positive. Everyone's going through something. You could easily have something really traumatic going on right now, and I wouldn't know about it. But, like, I got to be nice to you. You know, sometimes what I personally do is now every single day, if I see someone wearing a nice shirt, or even if, like, you can tell that they tried to put on something nice, I go out of my way and just be like, hey, I like your outfit. You know, and they'll be like, oh, thank you, and smile and walk away. And you never know, that smile, that simple thing could have made their complete day when they had an absolute shitty day, their car broke down, blah, 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 blah. So, I mean, I think it's just, we need to start being so much more positive. We need to start being way more positive.
We just need to start communicating more.
That's true.
I would say that's our number one issue is communication, because I mean that leads to cancel culture. By not talking to people, that leads to cancel culture. By not talking to people, like that helps. Like if I, talking to you, like, telling you I like your music or whatever, it's going to make you feel good.
Right.
So
communication. I hope you like my music. I hope you do.
I actually have never heard it.
Oh, wow.
Except for the videos that you put out.
Okay. Yeah. I'll send you a link of it all and whatnot. So you can, if you want to listen to it, you can. You don't have to, but you should. No, I'm just kidding. I'm messing with you.
Is that something that you have monetized, or can you monetize it? The music that you've recorded and put out?
I can only put it on SoundCloud, because I know if I put it up anywhere, I only put it on SoundCloud. I'm sure I could try putting up on YouTube, but I don't think it'd work. Because
why not?
I'm remixing other artists.
Right.
I'm taking the original artist, then the person who remixes it, and I'm taking that remix, and then I'm blending it into a mix. So it's not even my work.
What is that process like? How do you find that?
Oh my goodness. Hours and hours and hours of music searching.
Really?
I spend so much time music searching, because most of the songs I'm going to play you are songs you've never heard of, but you can sing along to. Like I'll find a Drake remix. So you would know like Nice for What by Drake or God's Plan by Drake, for example.
Right.
And then somebody will take his lyrics and then put it on a different beat, and then that would be the remix. But for some reason, it's a super unknown kind of category of music, and that's what like I think I benefit on, and why I'm different from everyone else that's like in the area. So do you have to buy it? How does that work? It's on SoundCloud, so I don't have to buy it. I have SoundCloud Pro or whatever the one is, so it actually has a feature on it where it just connects straight to your DJ board. It's kind of sweet.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So when you are going up to perform, do you like have like a playlist like of songs, or how do you do that?
So I don't know if this is good or not, but I freestyle almost everything I do.
I love it.
Yeah,
I love it.
I like kind of go in with like a playlist or whatever, but I don't go in order. I really like, I might prep for like big nights. Like for my show, I'll have like a set of songs and I'll kind of figure out how I want to like go through it. But usually I kind of look at my thing and I look at the crowd and I'm like, fuck it. Like, all right, let's do this. Oh, you like this song? All right, I'm going to go transition to this one. And then I'll kind of figure out sometimes how I want to like go from one song to another. But really, it's kind of like, let's just have fun.
Yeah, that's
just
awesome.
Go with it,
So do you have like preset buttons, kind of like how my soundboard has? Do you have things like that?
Yeah, I have. I mean, some of them like the roll effect. I have effects that I do. It's not like I just play the song, stand there.
Right.
I never fake my stuff. I try not to. I don't.
You can fake it?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that will get me mad. I watch a lot of videos online. Like people send me, oh, you should do this, and I watch their hands, and they're not even twisting the knob. They'll pretend like they're twisting it. I'm like, dude. Sweetheart, what are you what are you doing? What are you doing there, huh? But I try to, use the effects. I try not to use them too much. And then I have my samples, which is the famous Cheeku Take Me to the Sunset, which I've had so many people randomly just like say that. Like, oh, Cheeku Take Me to the Sunset. And I'm just like, oh, what's up, dude? Like, how you doing, man? But yeah, there's some like preset stuff, but yeah.
Okay. I had a question I was going to ask you. I don't remember what it was now. So what kind of equipment goes into DJing? Like obviously a soundboard. And
right.
Is it like a mixer? What is that?
Yeah, it's a, yeah, I guess you can call it a mixer, but it's a controller. That's really, I mean, honestly, that's all I have is my controller and then my two big speakers.
Okay.
And then that's really it. I mean, I have my cords that, connect and stuff like that, but it's not.
It's not Bluetooth or anything?
No. Oh, no.
Cord's probably better, right?
Yeah, cord's better because if it was Bluetooth, then it kind of delays sometimes.
Right,
So
disconnects and whatnot.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I wouldn't want that. But, yeah, and then I have the software on my laptop, which I use. So
what software do you use?
DJ Serato Pro.
Okay.
I mean, it's just a DJ thing. So, yeah, most DJs use it. So, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's what I was going to ask you. Do you have any competition? Like other
Yeah.
people? Yeah.
Yeah. I know some of the DJs around here. Not like personally, but I just know of them, and most of them do the bars and stuff like that. But again, like me as a DJ, I don't want to do the bars. That's not something I want to do. Because I don't want to go up there and then have tons of people request me songs, and then I have to feel forced to like play what the crowd wants.
That's not creative freedom, right?
No, I mean, if at that point, why don't you just set up a cue list and then, plug it into the speaker and there you go.
Right.
You don't
Right.
need me there. A DJ's, you have to trust me. You gotta trust me. You don't go to a Travis Scott concert or like a Drake concert or any, artist and be like, hey, can you play like Despacito? Like you don't,
Right,
you,
right.
you don't do that, So I mean, for me as like a DJ, I try to just hope you trust me. Just trust me, if you like, rap, if you like EDM, if you like lo-fi, if you like house, trust me. Just, pull up to the show and then, have a good time and enjoy it. Like when I do the house at 5:30, when I do that house, usually it's like, rap, and then honestly, I have no shame in saying it, but like Sweet Escape or like, a little bit of T Swift, like I'll go out and sing that. Like
Yeah.
I'll put it up, what I try to do at that house specifically is like, I'm not going to play those songs when I do my concerts, but like I try to make sure like everyone feels like a main character. That's
Right,
the biggest
right.
thing is like when you see, everyone's stressing from like exam week and stuff, and they're like, dude, it's the weekend. Get a few drinks in me, and then
Yeah.
I want to just sing a song. Like that's, I want them to come in there and, their eyes are closed and they're singing lyric for lyric, bar for bar. And I'm like, that's what I want for you to do. So most of the DJs I know, they do the bar scene and stuff like that. All credit to them. If that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. That takes a certain skill to sit there for 8 hours and, be able to like transition and,
Right. Right.
take what song and whatever. But for me personally,
It's a different style, right?
it is slightly a different style. For me, when I do my stuff, it's more along the lines of I'm going to take you on a full journey.
Yeah.
And you just got to trust me.
Yeah.
And it's sweet because now at 5:30, they know this is like no one asked for a request. Everybody knows. Even it's so funny. New people would, like on Halloween would like try coming up and like people like, hey, no, you can't come up there. And I'm like, yeah, you can't. No, you can't. No. Don't do that. I've had some people even ask to like pay me.
Oh wow.
And I'm like, no, like
You don't accept tips?
I mean, you can Venmo me. The Venmo was on the thing one time. But no, I don't. I'm not gonna have you come up to me and say, "Here's $10, play this song."
Oh, I see.
I'm not gonna do that because you're gonna break my. First of all, you're gonna break my pattern. Number two, I usually don't get paid when I do the 5:30 house, and I'm not there to get paid. I don't really care about
Right.
I mean, money will come. Money's nice and all, but like if I'm doing music the way I love and it's really my escape, I have to be very cautious with like what I do for money,
Right, right.
if I'm gonna like switch up.
Yeah, you don't want to be a sellout, right?
Oh,
You don't want
no,
to settle
no.
for just a couple bucks.
Right. That's the same thing with the bars. It's like if someone be like, yeah, no. If someone if someone would be like, here's like 1,000 for the night, go to the bars, I'd be like, if I did do that, I wouldn't play bar music. I'd be like, all right, you're asking me to play. I'm gonna do music I want to play, and I don't care if it's.
Why can't you do that? Why couldn't you do that? Tell them that you're not going to take requests. You're just going to play what you want to play.
Because that would be really risky. Because I mean, when you go to the bars, you want to be able to sing the songs and stuff like that. I've never been inside a bar, so I don't really even know what they
you can't
play.
really go in.
Yeah,
can you?
no, I can't. Again, I don't have a fake ID. Never did. Never been in any of those bars. But I mean, again, I love doing that house. Unfortunately, every single time the cops do get called.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Because it's loud noise.
Yeah.
Noise complaints.
Yeah. That one will frustrate me too. But I mean, it's last time we did it, cops got called at like 11.
Oh.
It's not even midnight. It's Friday. It's college town. It's literally in East Lansing,
Right.
like right there. Like, come on.
Yeah.
It's a Friday. Come on.
Come on.
Come
on, MSU police.
Yeah, like, and I mean, I've never gotten ticketed or anything like that. And again, it just happens to happen.
Why would they ticket you? You're just there doing a job.
I know I'm just saying they never ticket me, but like, I always feel bad. And the guys at the house, again, I love them. I love them so much. Like, dude, don't worry about it. Like, you're fine. Don't worry about it.
Continue playing.
You can do it. Yeah, I was just like, all right, like, see the cops going. I'm like, boom. But it is what it is. So.
Wow, man, that's awesome. Is there anything else you want to talk about? We're an hour in.
We're an hour. Oh wow.
That hour went quick.
Yeah.
It was like strobe show at first, but
yeah. I should have brought my board and DJ'd for you then. Overall, I mean, I got my show coming up, which I'm excited about.
Again, what's the date?
That's March 18th. That's super soon.
I wish I could go to that.
Don't worry.
I can't.
About it. Yeah, don't worry about it.
I'll be out of town.
You don't have to lie to me. It's okay.
I'm not lying.
No, it's all good. Yeah, March 18th at the Fledge. That's my set.
Wait, no. I'm sorry. I will be in town. I was thinking April. Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. So yeah, March 18th at the Fledge. That's after sundown too. That's my second headlining concert. I have that, and then I got my third clothing line coming out, which I'm super excited about. That one's just a little delayed right now, but we're working on it. We'll, see how it goes.
And then they can get that on social media.
Yeah, at Cheeku, so CheeKu, and then _ is my Instagram. So all my links will be in my bio. I'll post about it. And then, yeah, just working on my mental health. We'll see, if I come on back in for a third time where I'm panned out at. But yeah, just, continue for anyone who's listening, just like work on yourself. You're a surfer and there's waves out there, and those waves can sometimes be terrifying, or they can be, super small or whatever, but you're a surfer and each wave rises. Just like your anxiety, it's going to rise, but at the same time, it always falls. But no surfer should sit on the beach for too long. You got to go chase it. You got to go ride the wave. That'd be my advice.
That's a great analogy.
Yeah, you like
That's
that one?
really good.
That's
I
not
like
mine,
that. No,
it's not mine, but it's kind of mine. But my doctor and I, we talk about it all the time. So
that's awesome. That's a really good analogy.
Yeah.
Do you have a song that on your phone? Do you mind playing?
I don't unfortunately have a song per se, but I don't. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be able to play. It wouldn't be my song. You'd have to just listen to the mix, which is kind of long. But I can give the link and stuff like that to you, so you can put it wherever you want or something. So.
Okay. Well, everything will be in the show notes, so go there, get it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that it?
I think that's everything. Yeah. Again, thank you so much for having me.
Yeah,
as always,
absolutely,
it's a pleasure, and thank you for doing this. I'll speak on behalf of the community. Thank you for this, giving us an opportunity to talk. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for doing this, man.
Yeah.
All right. Peace.
Peace.